అవుతుంది. And okay then, firstly we network and we know uh, each other. Thank you everyone. Okay, firstly, a few ground rules for more effective meeting today. Uh, I request everyone to please put your phones in silent mode and avoid stepping out during the session, and avoid bringing refreshments into the auditorium. No crosstalks during the meeting. And the agenda of the today's meeting, we'll first have a startup pitch by Chandramouli, Care, from the startup Care, and followed by a Q&A session with him. And nextly, we have a speaker of the section today, Mr. Goga Prasad sir, and we'll have a Q&A session with him, and followed by a break and a startup pitch by Mr. Vasudev Prasad from Suraksha startup, and a Q&A session with him, and finally we have a open mic discussion on for the future ideas and all, and that's their event ends. So firstly, I would like to thank the organizers and the partners of the event. Um, for mainly startup Saturdays meetings for the benefit of the students. We conduct these meetings every first and third Saturdays, where we primarily to mandate is to inspire, encourage, and support new coming generations. This meeting will not only guide us all about education and regarding education, but also some startups and all. Um, so, without delaying, we'll directly go into today's session. I firstly call upon Mr. Chandramouli sir uh, onto the stage. Chandramouli sir is the founder and CEO of Care Health Tech Service Private Limited. He can brief us.
Okay, sure.
Full screen just now. We can use the point and all.
Comfortable. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Once again, my name is Chandramouli. I'm the founder of Care Health Tech Services. Before I get into the pitch, I'll just give you a quick introduction. Um, I basically belong to I've come from West Godavari. I mean that's where I was born. Most of my schooling happened in Hyderabad, and pretty much with the work experience, I worked in Bangalore for several years. I was in the edtech space, educational technology, right? That's where I was selling content to some of these big startups and IT companies. Uh, Around after working in the edtech company, I decided I need to do something different. It has been a prolonged experience, so I I moved to Ireland. Then I wanted to kind of study there and probably pursue something else different. But I think things turned around and the COVID hit when I landed there. So I physically was there, but basically kind of arranging like joining the virtual session. So that was the kind of sad situation it was. But later on, I think during COVID, it made me realize there is a lot of things which need to be done at the ground. And luckily, my father-in-law is a doctor who worked in the obviously he's a senior physician in a rural village called Jaipur. It's just 5 hours from here in the Koraput district in Odisha. So he worked there for several years, and based on his experience and some of the gaps, I realized that we need to do something in this area of healthcare. So that's a quick background. Sorry, I had to give you. So just to quickly coming to this idea is it's basically it started like as you all know, right? Telemedicine was widely used. Everybody knows that the telemedicine was widely used during the COVID times, right? And everybody got, I would not say not everybody, only like the cream of the society, they call themselves is like 30% of the 35% of the people were able to utilize it because they were equipped with the devices and they have the knowledge to connect to a doctor. Unfortunately, the same thing was not transferred to the rural communities, right? Many rural communities had no clue how to do it, and they suffered a lot mainly during the COVID times. So then we decided the future of healthcare is everybody is talking about telemedicine, and it is indeed going to be the future of healthcare. But how do we make the rural segment to utilize this advantage? And frankly speaking, when you see this, you will realize that it is more needed there than in the urban areas because in urban everybody has access to everything, but in rural communities it's completely different, right? So that's the reason why we decided to start this startup. So I'll not take much of your time. So I'll just, as you can see, by the Forrester that it says the next decade of healthcare is primed for seismic disruption by hospital at home. Basically, the care will be delivered at home, right? That is going to be the future. I don't know. Probably even surgeries can be conducted at home. I'm not saying, or probably near home. Future of this industry. So to highlight the problem, this is the problem statement what we are looking at. If you see today, nearly almost like every PHC, which is almost like 7 to 10 kilometers away, uh, none of them have a specialist doctor, right? So what they find is probably an A&M, which who's basically a nurse, right? Other than that, they don't find any senior specialist. And if they even go to a community healthcare center, which is again 25 kilometers away, and nearly 67% of them also do not have a specialist doctor, right? So, and as you know, 60 almost 70% of Indian population live in rural areas. So much of the inventions, whatever AI, ML, everything we are talking about, it is all only done for the cream of the society, right? That's how it is. So now this is the problem statement, and as you can see, there are some of the patient profiles who can't even go to a nearest PHC as well. I mean, they are almost immobile, right? They utilize. So what we did is we devised a solution where we bring a assistance in between, right? Where we call it an assisted telemedicine. So the whole concept is uh, a health worker who's based in that particular society, right? Or probably he's in a village, like a health worker is living in a village of say 10,000 people. So certain or somebody who will be able to even do some medical checkups or physical checkups as well as and when required, right? Maybe she can check their vitals, probably do some physical checkup if at all it is advised by the doctor, right? So some of those things can be addressed. So this is the, I mean, I would not say the only solution, but we felt that this is a way wherein the specialist doctor is becoming immediately accessible to that rural community member, right? They are able to consult to a senior doctor, and the local person who is basically a health worker, he is able to guide them through the entire process, take their vitals. See, ultimately, what you need for healthcare, you need a proper diagnostic of a person, right? And if the health worker is able to find out everything about the patient, their current condition, their previous issues, their current vitals, and their current problems, if that can be communicated very well to the doctor, so they can easily diagnose and probably identify the problem and provide them the solution, right? So that's the way we have devised this solution. So sorry, I'm taking too much of time. Generally pitching doesn't allow us to do prolonged sessions. We have like very limited time, like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and so on. But for the sake of benefit, I was, because most of them are students, so I thought I'll elaborate a little more. Uh, so I'll go quickly from here. But so benefits are multifold, right? It is personalized care by the health worker, because if it is a society member who is there in that village, then actually they'll believe in them, and obviously they'll also adhere or start using this model, right? It'll also reduce the cost. It gives them access to renowned doctors instantly, right? And for doctors, it is simplified because most of the doctors, as you know, in the cities are overused, I would say, right? They are busy, they can't really have time. But if somebody is on the ground, is helping them with all the things, they are preparing the patient with whatever they needed, they probably would need just 5 minutes of their time to quickly understand the patient condition and prescribe, right? So for doctors also, it is simplifying the job. uh, Health worker is able to make a additional income, like if at all there is a model. Then for a health worker, as I said, yeah, employment opportunities. It is helping them make personal visits. They can actually go to the houses of the family members or the rural communities and conduct these uh, health checkups. So what we did as a startup, so we built a platform, but we did not address it to the rural communities. We instead created an app for the health workers. So ideally, there is a app which is designed for health workers, who could be nurses, counselors, ASHA workers. Also, we are actually trying to work with Government of India to see how we can actually bring in ASHA workers across India. As you know, right, there are many who are penetrated into the system. So we are looking to work with Government of India on that, on those aspects as well. But ideally, as I said, we build this system, and just a quick highlight on the experience. So we made it very simple. We don't want to complicate for the health worker also on the ground. So as soon as she opens up the app, she'll be able to see, like basically she can create an appointment, she can select a doctor, basically punch in very few details about the patient, then just book an appointment, and before the actual consultation starts, she can actually update some of the vitals of that patient. By the way, right now it is all manual entry, right? But in the future, probably we'll be able to automate that through some device and everything, right? That is all, technology can be evolved over time. And for doctor, it is also similar experience on the other side. She can get into a call, she can track all the patients, she can also check all the vital details, and she can also upload the prescriptions right into the system then and there, right? And we also built another app for patient, but with an assumption saying that most of these people will not carry a smartphone, or neither they have access to it, right? So but in future, whenever they have one, whenever if they punch in the same mobile number they have given during the registration, they'll be able to retrieve all that details, like what was their consultation was all about, what were the medical records and all that. And now that we are also integrated with this Ayushman Bharat digital mission, so now the health worker can also create an ABA ID for them on the ground. So that is something we are working with the government of India on some of the projects, upcoming projects very soon. That's where how we want to connect with the ASHA workers as well. So because it's obviously a worker by name Gansham Mishra, and he has done all these consultations. And by the way, these are all real consultations where he was able to connect to specialists like oncologists, neurologists, all these different pediatrician, gynec, right? Those are the specialists which are really needed on the ground. They are able to connect to these patients, right? With the help of that one nurse. So all this is again some technical details on the kind of data we are capturing, how the tracking ENY I have not listed here with a lot of pro bono consultants. So whenever you do a social related project, you will always get a lot of support from corporates like ENY, SAP, and one of these called Moving World. So there is always support which is given. So you probably can look for that. So landscape again, I'll just switch. Basically, we are actually closely competing with eSanjeevani also, right? Because eSanjeevani is also a platform which is basically driven by government of India. So they also looked at our platform. They realized the gaps, and they are happy to adopt our platform also. So we have been able to do those conversations also at the ABDM level. So as we are a technology based company, we are trying to improvise, bring in new areas of concepts, right? So one of these is the video vitals. So very soon we will be able to incorporate a model where just looking at the camera, you'll be able to identify the vitals of the body, right? We'll start with the blood pressure. Uh, I know this may not be accurate. It may take several months or years probably to get that accuracy. But because we have healthcare workers who are doing physical checkups for the vitals, right? So always we can compare. And when we find a maturity, then this is the valid data where we can actually, I mean, we can believe this data. Then I think we'll be able to systematically put it in place. But otherwise, we need to take a lot of, I would say, approvals also from the government. But this is the technology we are building. I'm not getting the traction of it. It's just been a year right now. So we have been able to do some good traction. We're also bringing in some new models where we're targeting even the senior societies, just like the rural areas. There are senior societies who are also not incapable or immobile to actually go to a hospital, right? So these are some revenue models just for your understanding. So we are even giving our platform to other players who are running physical clinics in the rural areas, right? We are giving them. We are also providing doctors. Like for example, if there is a pharmacy or a I would say diagnostic center in a rural area, and they want to have access to doctors for their population, so they can actually use a platform and then they can start consulting, and that's the exactly what is happening. So some of the examples which I showed earlier was actually that model. And yeah, so right now we are working on rural and senior living. So we are also collaborating with several NGOs across India. We are giving our platform to them because ultimately for us, NGOs are doing a lot of work on the ground with regards to social welfare. So we are trying to bring down the cost of implementation for health programs. So that's how we are collaborating with them. And some very large global foundations like Miller and Moving Worlds and all are also part of our association. So these are some basic, not basics, some of the snapshots of the rural clinics penetrated into the interiors of the societies. And these are some very few partial list of our partners, some awards and all that, and some great testimonials we received. Uh, yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you so much again once for your time. Yeah, please. This one? Okay. Yeah, yeah. Correct, correct. So see, all these guys are. So these guys have actually are been in the system for several years now, and typically their model is they are creating additional TV screen and all that, right? So they are creating those setups. Obviously, Many of these players were on that model only most of the time, but they are also adopting the technology piece as well. But having said that, uh, the penetration is, I would not say, is not as great as it seems. So it's just started since COVID, right? But still, we there is a lot of opportunity, I would say. Yeah. Yeah, urban there are plenty. Like yeah, like Practo, all these are telemedicine players, right? But these guys are assisted telemedicine players, I would say, where they have a in a rural village they have a small shop, I would say, where they'll set up a TV screen. They will have a nurse, dedicated nurse, who will be able to connect to a senior doctor in the city. So that's how they are working. But but what we are trying to do is we are trying to make it more mobile, where you can actually go to the patient house, right? You don't have to make them come to your clinic, right? That's the idea. Any other question? So right now, as I said, right, what we are advising is use a tab, right? Basically, a proper full screen tab. You can actually go to our website. There's a demo as well, how they are actually conducting the whole telemedicine. Uh, so you can go to care.in, care.in, right? So right now, we don't have that problem, but network obviously definitely it's a challenge. But before launching the platform, we did extensive studies and research and all. We went to the self-assist. Yes, yes. Yeah. So, I mean, it is self-assist, but probably it is slightly biased to us. So I would say, but yeah, basically, I we did this based on the primary factors on their existing business model, right? So obviously they are not convenient because they are just like a PHC where people have to go to that place. So we are bringing in that convenience, so that is already taken. But how expensive they are compared to us is something we are still negotiating. But as I said, slightly biased, and we have put in our cells on top. Yeah, feature based. I think we are better and all that. Yeah, so we actually did that. So as you can see, this is more of a detailed landscape of that. So right now we are actually running two models. One is in the rural and the other is the urban, right? So in the urban is obviously it's a model where a lot of revenue scope is there. We have already started doing that. I mean they cannot pay for the expenses. So so we are identifying those pockets where there is a I would say footfall of the patients. And so right now, as I said, we are identifying those diagnostic centers. So for us, he's again my friend in Ireland. So I mean, obviously, it's all like friends. Most of us friends actually. So that's the reason. Otherwise, if you have to, sorry, yes, yeah. So actually, is there internet in this? Okay. So I mean, just for everyone's sake, it's not our side, but okay. So the technology has been already proven, right? And proven in the sense it is already being implemented. So this is a startup in Israel. It's an Israel-based startup where they are able to collect video data and check the vitals, right? So you can see the video is checking, and you can see some parameters down there where it is doing the quick check on the so there are like several things like it can do. Yeah, these guys are obviously, yeah, they provide SDK or API, yeah, so which you can integrate with your app if you want to, but they are very very costly. So yeah, 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 correct, correct. Correct, correct, correct. So right now, I don't think. I mean, they do have some measures where they check anxiety, fear. So those things are. Yeah. Correct, correct. Yeah, yeah. So they are obviously HIPAA compliant. I think they also got some certifications. So these guys are big, but right now they are primarily working on the vitals like BP, obviously not sugar, BP, blood pressure, SpO2, respiratory systems, everything, non-invasive. Nothing is like touched. So just the video camera, they are able to do it. And I mean, they claim that they've been accurate, but I don't know how far it is. But again, as I said, it's something we cannot depend on it completely. That's the reason, as I said, in our model, it is more of a blend, right? Where we have physically a person there on the ground. So who is doing manually checking and manually entering it. And then when we bring in this concept, so it can cross check and verify whether how accurate is this, right? So that's the idea. So we are right now at only one parameter. I think ideally uh, by next month we could introduce where somebody uploads a video and it does a quick, like, you just record your video for 5 seconds, upload that, and then in the back end the system will actually do a quick check and give you that state as data, for example. So this is our website. So just go to care.in, CAARE, as I said. So you'll find some details about our model and some of these, and anyone who wants to understand how does it really work. So this is the rural area again. Okay. 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 So that guy in yellow shirt is the health worker, and he's able to do it. It looks like a fancy place there in the rural side, but yeah. Yeah, that's it. And some anything on the video vitals, there is one video also if you want to check. Sorry, I think I've taken too much time, so that's about it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Danish, for giving me this privilege to welcome our next speaker, Mr. Koka Prasad, who like who is well-known, renowned speaker for most of us here. And Mr. Prasad teaches and conducts communication and leadership workshops, mentors and coaches speakers in and around Vizag and rest of India. He is the first person from the state of Qatar to win the country level contest 7 times. Mr. Prasad is also an ambassador for Agora Speakers International for India. He is founding president of Vishaka Orators at Vizag. Mr. Prasad worked for major oil company in Middle East for 20 years, and he has hands views on pitfalls of pitching. And it would be a privilege to all of us to listen and learn from him on how to pitch in on this while we are pitching for the business. Now I welcome Mr. Prasad to share his views on pitfalls of pitching.
It's working.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay because I need to stay here. Thank you, Ram, for the wonderful introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, I'd like to tell you a story. And before I run into that story, I would like to ask you, how many of you have a smartphone here? Those who don't have a smartphone, please leave the room. Almost everybody has a smartphone here. Okay. Now, it was in the year, I clearly remember, it was something like 1989. I was asked to travel on a train. I was young. I had a huge box with me, and my former employer asked me to take up an assignment in Delhi. And I had to board the train, buy a ticket at the ticket counter, and I traveled on the train without reservation at the near the bathroom. I slept near the bathroom for 2 days and traveled towards Delhi. And those who had money and those who had that courage to go and talk to the TT were bribing the TT ticket collector, buying tickets for a hefty price, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees. They were able to flash money and buy a berth. For me, it was difficult to even go and put my hand through the crowd to the ticket collector. And I always wondered why we had to travel that way. And how many of you found yourself in a predicament where you had to travel today and you had to buy a ticket? You didn't have reservation. How many of you travel that way? Instantly, you're supposed to go today and you buy a ticket. Almost everybody. We faced it. Then I was thinking now is the time where we have this AI and we have this big data. We have all the technologies in the world. Why not we know the amount of seats vacant in a train at any given time? Now, have you found yourself trying to buy a ticket where the train has already left the station? Let's say the train is traveling from Calcutta to Madras, let's say Chennai. Now, if you were to book, you're going to board at Visakhapatnam. If you want to book a train ticket on this Howrah Mail, for example, the train has already left in Howrah. Will you able to be buy a ticket on the train, a reserved ticket? Only current reservation. You have to go to the counter. Now, what if I tell you, no, charts being prepared. After charts are prepared, you have, yeah. Now, if I tell you, I have an app which you can go to the PlayStation, download the app and run it, and you will find booking anywhere in India for any train. Would you be interested to have that particular app? Having faced this difficulty, yes, you would. Now, the reason I'm telling this story is I want to know what is your story when you pitch? How did you come up with an app? We had our first speaker. Where is he? Yeah, there you are. What made you think of the app? The story behind the app. How do you connect with the audience? My question to the audience, as soon as I came up, I struck a conversation with the audience and I involved the audience. Have you found yourself in a position during COVID where you wanted vital doctor uh, appointment where you couldn't have opening? What is your story? What made you think of that app? Or what made you think of that design? Whatever you're coming to, whenever you're pitching something, connect with the audience first and then pitch your app, right? That's what I mean to say. Now, here is Naveen Jain, is the founder and CEO of Wyoming. And he had something very interesting. This was in the paper 2 days ago, yesterday probably. You've seen it, sir, Ravi, sir? Yes. What struck me here is the whys there. Can you read the whys there? I'll take it to the next screen. The three whys. Naveen Jain has to say something very interesting. The three whys. Yes, sir. You, okay, I thought. All right, thank you. Thanks very much. Okay, the three whys. Now, before you even pitch the app, you need to talk about these three whys. You don't need to say these are my whys, but you need to talk about this topic. What does my app offer you? What is it as a game changer? What is it as a differentiator? That's what you're talking about here. And why now? Why now? Because we have the big data, we have 5G, we have cloud data, and everybody has a mobile phone now. Now, this is the time to have that. That is because that's why we have this why now. 10 years ago, I couldn't think about it. We never even had these gadgets, right? Why now? And why we? Why we? Who are you? How can you make a difference? Who is your team? Right? It's something you need to ask yourself and something you need to define in whatever you're pitching. You don't need to say that as why, and why, but you can mix it up in your story. Now, I'd like to see a mission and a vision statement for everybody who pitches because that gives you a definition, that gives you a destination. A mission is a destination, and a vision is how you go there. It's the vehicle that takes you to the mission. Where is your mission and vision? I would definitely like to see your mission. What do you want to be? What's your big picture as a mission? Have you thought about? Maybe it's there on the website. I'm not sure.
I would say mission is to deliver care at the house of the community.
That should be your pitch. My vision is to deliver care at the pitch, at your home, at the comfort of your home. That's what you're trying to say here. When I say craft a mission and a vision statement, as soon as you have a bright idea, what am I going to solve? What will be my mission there? And how will I get there? That is my vision. What's the vehicle that will take me to my mission? That is your vision, right? Now, Wyoming has a great mission statement, and I like it. And it's short and it's precise, concise in whatever they say. I've so your standard pitches are going to be 3 minutes and 5 minutes, sir. Or how do you 5 to 7 minutes sometimes? And I've seen people pitching content heavy. When you're showing an audience a screen, it has to be. And I have a rule where I teach people when I teach presentation skills. A 20-30 rule. 10-20-30 rule is not more than 10 slides, not more than 20 minutes, not less than 30 size font. Okay. And we also tell them that if it's too content heavy, people will start reading all over. Some of your screens I found were content heavy. Yeah. Now, a general rule is you spend 2 minutes per slide. 2 minutes plus slide. If you're going to talk for 10 minutes, you should have only 5 slides. If you're going to talk for 20 minutes, you only have 10 slides. Don't go beyond that. It becomes content too heavy and too fast. We Indians tend to speak very fast, very, very fast. Think about the audience. It will be difficult. You're asking them, makes it even difficult for people to concentrate whatever is on the slide, right? Your audience. How many of you think about who the audience is when you pitch? Who are your investors? How many of you really research your investors or your in the audience? Not many. To tell you the truth, the other day I was watching uh, one pitch, which is a 3 minute pitch. It was by a lady called Anushka Shetty, and she was pitching in a platform called Pitch Right. Have you heard about Pitch Right? And you know, Pitch Right, yes. And she was talking about a, an application she made, which is about plop stories. She calls it plop stories. Nobody in the audience understood what she was saying, and the investors didn't get what she was trying to say. She had a good pitch, tell you frankly, but she was overwhelming. None of them invested in her. And she was talking about her. She's from IIM. My handsome husband there is also from IIM, and all that blah 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 blah. And she wasted 3 minutes pitch, and she is talking about herself and who she is and what she's been doing, rather than talking about what you're pitching. Too much time spent. Find out who your investors are going to be. Are they in the same line? Will they understand your slides? It's something you need to think about before you go and pitch. Time frame. Like I said, 2 minutes per slide. If it's a 3 minute pitch, three slides. Nothing. Three is very difficult to pass through in a 3 minute pitch. How will you talk about all the slides when you're given a 3 minute slides? I'm on pitching time and with Q&A. One girl I've seen very cleverly in one of the pitches, she used all the 3 minutes and she didn't talk about her metrics and financials. And when it came to the QA time, that's when somebody asked her, "What about your financials and QA?" She spent the QA time to pitch her financials and the figures. It was clever of her to do that. Okay, when the QA comes in, oh, you didn't show our financials. Oh, there it is, my financials, and you explain. Use the time for QA for your financials, right? Give a demo if possible. How many of you have smartphones? I asked everybody. Everybody said yes. Please take them out, whip them out, go to PlayStation, download this. You have. It depends on your time, of course. I'm telling you. If you're given half an hour or 7 minutes, maybe you can show a demo of the screens. You have done as well. You showed some screenshots of it. Yeah, use that time or use a prop or bring that particular item here and show the audience. This is the audience this is what I'm going to market. This is where you will be investing. I love Netflix because it's easy to explain and easy. their their financials are very easy to explain how they make money. And this is one of my favorite screens for Netflix revenue model. Who are their customers and how they do it? It's as simple as that for Netflix. Try to make it simple as possible when you're talking about your revenue and metrics. We'll go to that. Data metrics and financials. Quick. One shot should give you a quick glimpse and understanding about your financials and metrics, right? Not allocating time enough for questions, Q&A. At the end of the session, you don't have time. You will run out of time. That's also is important. People want to ask you several. We had so many questions, and Dinesh had to stop us. He kept getting up and say, enough, enough, enough. You should allocate time for questions in the end of your session. You know, that's all for me about talking about pitching. I'm not going deep into how exactly your screens because each of your pitch was going to be different. If you have any, sir. Yeah, yeah, Ram.
Is it mandatory that you have to tell us, like, audience that what we are pitching for? Like, is it like amount that you are asking for? What is the
I
company?
mean, what are you pitching for? I mean, what's the reason you are here for the 3 minute or the 7 minute? Is it your goal is there, ultimate goal? Is it for investors or what are you trying to sell your product?
Valuation also be
Yeah, it can be. If that is the outcome of that particular session, why not? Yes, right, right.
sometimes it's more than one person trying to pitch and handing it over one to the other. Is that a good strategy?
Um,
7 minutes handing it over to the right, but some are mostly it is.
the timing is important, and unless they have a speciality between each of them, it's no point giving it up to somebody. You can always say in the Q&A session, so and so is going to answer the questions for my partner. That question I'm going to divert it to him, or that question will be talked about him. And then it's no point doing that. It's good to have an effective speaker or somebody who can pitch rather than handing it over. It will be awkward sometimes, very awkward to do that. Yeah.
So we are always confused about vision and mission statement. So is it right to put a vision statement or a mission statement? So
Mission is something it's the goal where you want to be at the end. What do you want to see yourself? And the vision is the vehicle that takes you there. What you will do consistently over the days, over the years to get to that point, your destination. That's the mission. That's vision and that's mission.
I always get confused between mission to vision.
Yeah. Right. If there's nothing else, I'll call it back. Yep. Thank you very much. Yeah. 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 Please go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
So how do we know audience before we are pitching? Like content?
Right. A good question. Most of the places will announce who the investors are, who are the audience as well, though it is advertised. If you see it, it will be there. Who are your potential audience in the sense other than the investors, or who you're talking about?
Like like last time we gave a pitch here,
Right.
itself, and it was ideation pitch. We were expecting few people. I mean, there will be different sort of people available here, but maybe that's our bad luck. There were no people present there, and we didn't get the input we actually wanted.
Hmm.
Like we didn't get some great questions.
Go ahead.
Any correct that? Actually, you didn't ask about any solution to a problem. No, like I have asked Q&A, like not about Q&A, but it's ideation. So need to take suggestions from people. Yeah, like we were not aware of the audience.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. Very recently, I saw a pitch where a woman was pitching about tender documents. There are a lot of tender documents all over, floating all over the world about some work or whatever it is. And this application, she says, all the tender documents have run into sometimes 1,000 pages or more, depending on the complexity of the project. She says, my app goes to these websites and gathers the information, makes it simple, and then to tender. So, but if I talk about the tender documents, none of you would be probably interested in tender documents. You're not into construction. You're all students. You're all educators, or you're from a different stream. So it won't interest you. So there could be situations like that. How to make it interesting is something you need to think about coming up with a story, how to make it user centric, or so that they will understand whatever you're saying. It's a challenge. It is a challenge. Yes, sir. Yeah. I before we had this session, I spoke with Srinivas over two or three calls, and I asked him, "Who is this session going to be? Who are the people? How is the setup going to be? How do I dress up my computer? Do I need my things? I bring all that." I asked him several times, over two or three calls. You can ask him; he's behind you. Yeah. So you need to make that decision to find out who is going to be there. Yeah. Thank you.
Usually, sometimes it so happens that the person that you said, sometimes when the sales guy is the best presenter of the bar, the team of the which at the time he talks well, goes on stage, presents, but
Yeah.
not technically good to answer questions. You have this constraint of people not allowing you to get in somebody else to answer the technical questions. Sometimes I think people are very short of being able to handle this sort of things. Yeah, I can they say, okay, we are applying for an patent, it's on the way or something like that, but they go deep into technology. Like, for example, I got, yeah, Chandramouli is developing that technology. Now, then I went into the deep of this thing, and there's somebody else who's doing it. They're only using that. I'll have to talk to him on the pricing and other stuff. It's a different story. But in case if it's his team who's working and developing that, asking would be so that
Yeah.
yeah, difficult to handle. Is there any way to say that? Come back to you or you will
Yeah, because you can even tell it's going to take a little time. It's time consuming. Behind the scenes, right after I finish, I'm going to meet you in the lobby and explain it to you, sir,
get the right guy to talk?
and get the right person to talk to you. Yes, that would be better to handle. Right, right.
One more last thing. So we have time.
Yeah,
So we have 10 minutes break and one question.
yeah.
Most of the pictures, I think people will agree, most of the people go on stage for funds.
It's for fun.
People asking for money.
Money, funds.
People were saying, okay, so is there any a sort of template or something that is saying? Because most of the pictures is towards investors. We're talking about 80-90% of the pictures are largely towards investors. So any specific thing
Well, when
what
you
should that contain in investor piece?
Yeah, if you have a clear-cut financial matrix there, how many have bought your application, how many current people are using your application, how many prospective, and you how much you have invested, how much you have in stock, and these things are very clear. Anybody in the audience will be able to say, I will invest in your firm. I will give you 5 lakhs. What will be my return over investment? You have to make that clear. What will be the stake you're going to give that person so that he invests in your application, in your app.
About myself, about what my answer, maybe the three whys.
Yeah.
The third one is becomes your critical thing is your financial.
Your financial model. It should be clear and it should be on one slide, easy to comprehend. Your financial model. And where do you see yourself in 10 years now, or 5 years now, or 2 years now? And who is your team? How strong is your team? Who are you? How passionate you are about that product, right? And most of all, when you're opening the session, connect with the audience. Have a story. Why this app? Why did you think about it? What was the problem you're trying to solve with this particular app or this gadget or whatever you're making? You said Netflix is the most easiest thing to explain. You go back and yeah, it's just people subscribers. That's it, right? Nothing else. It's very easy to do that, but the way they do it, I mean, how they go into it, and they only buy content or they buy rights to sell movies or show movies on their platform, on demand videos. And they also have an AI working. Each time you look at and search for a particular genre of a movie, it starts giving you would also like to see, that's AI working behind the scenes. And yeah, it's as simple as revenue streams or subscription, nothing else. And the software that's running behind it. I remember the time when I went to US some 15 years. Then we went into a convenience store. There was a huge red box. How many of you anybody remembers that time? You have a red box, and on the small LED screen there, They had all the movies showing. Then he tapped the number of the screen, the movie he wanted, and paid. They put his credit card. The CD fell from the bottom there. He picked it up, and we came home and watched movie. And from there, now we are here. All those boxes are gone. The red box. So I'm just talking about how easy it is for them. I mean, they have competitors, of course. They have Disney. They have Hotstar. They have other people. Yes, sir.
How does language matter?
Sir, people should understand you. You don't need to have polished language, or you don't need to be convent educated at all. As long as people understand you very well, simple words, simple gestures, it helps. You don't need to be polished.
Because many of the students in my university are from local background and
Yes,
Telugu medium education, right? So they just think about the point in Telugu and then translate that into English in their mind. So that takes some time for them to express.
it does. Yeah, I
What
understand.
exactly you can suggest to them?
In Srinivas, maybe you can help me with this. It's in pure language. Uh, make it simple. Don't make it difficult on yours. You don't need to be a convent educated to communicate well. You can speak in your own language and in your own mother tongue, or with your own accent, to be understood with people, as long as you're clear.
Can I add a point here? I've seen was part of many pitches where people have asked like if they want to talk probably in a common language, the others understand either in Hindi or if it is you have a lot of target audience in Telugu, then maybe you can speak in. So those opportunities are also coming in. So I've seen many people doing pitches in their own mother tongue.
And one more point here, it can be classified into two parts. One is the technological aspect and another one is financial. So many of my students in this university are with the technological advancement. So they doesn't have much focus on the financial aspects and how to make the or
Financial model for it, yeah, somebody can help them out, and then that's it. That is the only thing. Somebody has to help them out how you can uh, generate revenue from that idea and put it up as a pitch. Mentor. Absolutely. Collaborate with somebody who has that skills. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes. Development. Yeah.
slowly we are inducting all the things in our program.
Right. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Yeah.
We have 10 minutes networking session now. So after the networking session is done, we have a second speaker connection.
Right now, I'm going to discuss about this one equipment called, let me, transcranial magnetic stimulation is the one of the equipment where we can use whenever the any patient has the problems with neurological, psychological disorders or neurological problems or some tension wise if they get any problems, so they have to use this equipment. Right now in India, only the few hospitals has this equipment, but due to this cost expensive, so they are in India hospitals they are unable to buy it. So the approximate cost of this equipment is around 85 lakhs. So entire in Andhra Pradesh there is no hospital having this equipment. Entire India is having only 15 to 20 hospitals. So for that we are coming to the picture to equipment now called as CRTMS. CRTMS, that means compactable repetitive transconduction magnetic stimulator. So it costs around 15 lakhs, so that even the small hospitals or labs they can purchase and they can utilize this equipment. So this is the main intention. So cost reduction, this equipment purpose is this. Is the, so the problem. So the first they invented this equipment by brand in 1985. So there are the different stages. Yes, they have different resolutions. In 1901, they have connected with RTMS, that is the repetitive transconduction magnetic stimulator. So different years, every year some developments are came. So this is the cornerstone milestones. So this is the when we are going to develop is the one is the most transportable and small equipment and simple one. So whenever the patient keep on the top of the head without touching anything, the magnetic waves comes into the body and the resolution happens and the treatment it can be solved. These are the technically they have given how to develop the things. Yeah, already have discussed about this. The device is mainly designed for going to design for compact, simple, economical. So the every person has can utilize whoever the needed. First time they need to consult the doctor, and based on the doctor they have to go for the respective sessions and all. Further, there is without doctor and without expertise they can utilize this equipment. That is the main purpose of our intention. So how it is different from others? So at present, the only few industries right now we can purchase this equipment from US and Canada only. In India, it is not available. That is the one major issue. And only right now, as per our knowledge, only the Bangalore Nimhans has it equipment nearby ours. So other than that, we are not having this equipment entire Andhra Pradesh. Suppose if any patient they can afford, but they cannot utilize it, and the treatment cannot be solved. As of now, the present status is the screen device is ready and simulation is under process. So right now we are planning for this three different stages. Initial stage, we are going to design how the requirement, all the things, how this compact repetitive transmission magnetic stimulator, how it will work, all the things it will take initially for that roadmap 4 months it will take. In the second phase, it will comes into the around 8 months. So that means how much time to take for deliverables. The final time requirement. So totally it will take minimum 1 year to get this equipment. So you have any questions? Hmm? Mm. No, no. Right now we will be doing in India. There is no right now we are importing from US only. That equipment only in India they are using. Cons- Uh, imports. Yeah. Right now for US equipment it is costing around 85 lakhs. So once we develop it will come around 15 lakhs. Yes, total cost. That means someone who has a depression and a neurological problems, psychological and all. If a doctor suggests he has to use for say the starting team has this one, they will keep in the hospital that magnetic equipment. So it is required for the patient. For the no, no. First time doctor will recommend. Afterwards, the person can use it directly without any doctor intervention or expertise. Without supervision and all. The first time, but the doctor has to prescribe. Yes, 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 yes. Right now it's not common. Only for the who have the psychological or disorder. Uh, yes. Yes, yes. Only that Bangalore it has this equipment, but in Andhra Pradesh no hospital it is had. Yes, yes. That is the main purpose. Actually, it will improve the blood circulation in the body. Slowly, it will reduce the problems, psychological problems, like that. So that is the one solution. No, no, this is only mainly for this neurological. Yeah, yeah, they will keep on top of that head skull. So the magnetic it will move flow into the body head, and the blood circulation will improve like that. Right now the equipment is available, but it's costly, so that hospitals are not buying. Here some differently we are going to develop because right now some coils are there, but here more convenient way we are going to develop new coils. Mm. They have to go to Bangalore or wherever this treatment is available. They have to. There is no option. 85 lakhs. No, 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 no. Individual cannot. Even hospitals also they are unable to purchase with 85 lakhs. So that's the reason they are avoid. So in the entire Andhra Pradesh, no hospital is having this equipment. That is, yeah, they can purchase suppose like in some malls and so now I think now you can observe some malls they are putting one chair and relaxing machines some are available like that. But this is mainly for who have the depression and neurological problems. You can use it. You can. Mm. Actually, this is not multi-purpose. Suppose just you have like only depression, then you won't go to a doctor. So like that, we can utilize it. Some people they have neurological pattern, they have to consult neurophysician as per the doctor advice. They have to. Yeah, that's under the by design they are covering and that's the reason as per doctor advice who have the neurological problems, how many sessions they have to use it and as per the doctor we have to. Yeah, right now plan is in progress, so we need to develop. Yes, yes. Once we develop, we need to approach ICMR, and once they will also do the testing, and finally it will come out to the. Yeah, yeah, definitely we will approach before. Uh, Actually, this type of treatment only for few people will get it, not all the people. So that's the reason they have had this equipment. So they will see, they will purchase only if they get the profit. So entire Andhra Pradesh, it is not having. Mm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we can spend some time on open mic session. Anyone from the audience can speak up their ideas on the stage. And audience, please be respectful for the speaker while sharing their ideas to build their confidence so that they can fine tune their ideas and build such products in the future. Anyone, anyone from the audience can speak up their idea. Really.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Snehit, and the startup that I want to build is a cryptocurrency exchange. And right now, there are many crypto exchanges, but the problem with them is they're charging a hefty fee. But I always wanted to build a one which has low trading fee or zero trading fee because I understand that in order for the cryptocurrencies uh, to be used in the real life, we need to get it much more efficient and much more effective. And uh, the way that we can do is through building a crypto exchange which charges no fee. So that is the idea that I always wanted to work on, and I'm working on it. Thank you. There are some monetization strategies. Like one of them is staking, works like a bank. It issues loans. At the same time, while trading, you take a margin. So we charge a fee upon that, but we don't charge any trading. Until now, nobody has done this. It works much more like a bank, but for cryptocurrencies. Still, we are in starting. Yes, India.
Banking finance sector is like getting on.
At this moment of time, even the government is not clear about it. They haven't revealed the points.
Not cryptocurrencies, even non-banking finance
Oh.
also. For that also you need a lot of influence. Not everybody can start.
Sorry, but as far as I know, the government is exceptionally clear about it. Zero crypto.
Crypto, no in India. I
No
thought
in
you
India.
were mainly for the outside.
Yeah, no in India. And but if you do crypto, they'll tax you for it. I don't know how they thought about both of them at the same time, but you have to go outside the country. Which year are you studying?
I'm in the BBA first year.
You have another 2 years before you leave the country and then do it somewhere.
Or they change the policy.
You can't. How they change? Or you get the government to change the policy.
Anyone know with idea? Yeah.
I haven't developed the other still.
This is the idea. Float the idea.
Float the idea.
Some people to copy. These faster than it.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Adarsh. Our startup is called New Spine. So we're developing a spine monitoring unit. It's basically it uses the integration of hardware and software devices. So we use an IMU, six IMUs that are placed on your back. So based on and using IoT, we are able to show you your spine model in real time. So my main target audience will be we're looking at weightlifters, power lifters, and exercising folks. So while doing certain exercises like weightlifting is one very big example of our product, you need to maintain a certain SG of business time. That is very important, right? Because you need to distribute weight all over your body. So what our idea does is we monitor your spine live, and there's an app on the phone which will tell you whether you are maintaining the right position. And we're trying to implement haptic feedback also into this, where we're able to warn you if certain if you're not stretched a certain part enough or just overstretching a certain part. So this is still a long way ahead. Uh, Hopefully, I'll come back here with more, more done more next time.
Where are you developing Caare?
He's a VDC, right?
You have an empty lab.
IoT lab, we bought our devices. So we'll be using this one, RDMA, DSP32
Are
model.
you developing any hardware yourself?
Yes, once the proof of concept is tested, then we will manufacture our own PLCs. So
That way you're planning.
there are a lot of online websites available where you just design it and then ship it to you.
If you're developing your own stuff, you have to test it and all the stuff.
So it's still proof of concept stage basically. So.
No, at that time, You have three, I think, IoT centers. One is NASCOM's Center of Excellence, which is called an IoT lab in the North Campus in Pune. You have the Industry 4.0 lab that is there in the steel plant, the STPI. You have AU room. We are setting up another 1 crore plus IoT lab to end-to-end testing of products instead of product because it has been tested in such.
No, but what is it IoT lab consist of?
Right from your basic oscillometers, 3D printing to everything, FRP, modules, printers, and all that stuff. To your PCB yeah, all that stuff.
But now that a lot of these companies outside has just made an orders, we just design it, send them the design. That seems easier. Than
Yeah, but again, testing and then do those things, testing software.
But it's pretty cheap. Looking at the prices for those PLC boards and all that.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
So in terms of that.
No, but if you need one, two pieces, then you make start.
Yeah.
The only big problem is we did it. I invested in it.
Oh, okay. So then,
So no, I'm just we did it. We sent it to Gujarat all the way. Okay. We got it done, and we saw that in about a month's time because the design got copied by a partner, by a competitor.
oh,
They sold it off. So that's the reason they ask you for they give you very cheap.
okay.
So you are not protected anyway. You can't really tax. So you have already not. Yeah, India it's not so.
Any startup conference that
Yeah, you need to be careful in sending all these things because it sounds cheap, but they have a other ideas about it. Because it's not even modified. They even asked for this thing because the software to flash on the thing. And they gave it. They just gave it up to the other guy for a very paltry price. You're fighting, but there's nothing that's happening.
How big is this your market?
So right now the current competitors of this product is this MI product that basically tests if it's slouching or not. It attaches right behind your shoulder blades in between. So that device basically only tests if it's slouching or not. It doesn't have any more functionality in that. We're trying to implement a model that has more.
How big they are? Like what kind of?
It's a
No, I mean, as a company, like how big they are?
MI is a big company. They do a lot of stuff. The phone company MI really they've gone into different stuff. Like inflatable tire thing. So they do products.
But you can also look at wearables, which is an alternative, which sports analytics companies are doing. There's a huge investment in sports analytics.
Yeah.
Which through the variables that are there, it gives you even if it's like giving you my own experience, tennis, forehand start, how I'm playing it all so that the whole this thing, even a back, right? How we flow through the whole thing. It's all captured. It's not image, but there's also the variables that you're getting, which are all for sensors and it's picking up that motion. So you could probably try that thing out also.
Yeah,
It's an
definitely
alternative.
that is yeah.
Because you could give a holistic perspective, just not talking only weightlifting or powerlifting or
Yes.
but it could be applicable to a lot of other sports.
Yeah, so definitely sports. Weightlifting is what how we came into it.
Yeah, because I know you must be going to a lot of gym and can see that. So maybe you found that problem yourself, but without seeing this, especially when you do stats and stuff. So there'll be a lot of the pressure on the spine.
Yeah.
So the posture that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But one other level of this thing that they're going into is how the spine is flexing out as you started doing.
Yeah.
Especially just in and all the stuff.
Yeah.
They're trying to do it.
But those are very expensive. There are like, of course, our idea is not new, but the alternatives available are very expensive. They're not consumer devices. All of these are available in sports complexes, expensive sports complexes, like basically NFL linebacks and all that. They use concept. Then Olympic swimmers and all that. They have a lot of back. They use this. They coupled it with computer aided machine learning so that they're able to use both. That's like yeah, really coupled with the variable sensor. So they're getting high, very accurate data. We might not reach that level, but we're trying to make it cheaper to make it consumable in the consumer market.
Let me tell you one point. You need any assistance in designing and testing, you can just step into our AU APS Center of Excellence, where we have the design facilities as well as the mold making for your device, or else high precision CAD software.
Yes, I'll take your contact earlier. Definitely need.
That's actually set up by Siemens. So it's huge. It's the way you can do it develop and design. You can just enter into the lab with a idea in your brain and then come out of the lab with the prototype.
Oh, definitely will make a visit to that.
Yeah. So basically, the concept makes. Yeah. The reason I asked you that is how do you protect your design? Because that's your core. So if somebody copies it, somebody can the guy giving you sources, you can manufacture mass cheaper than you. Because you have to go to a different brand. So tomorrow you're gone. Then again you depend only on brand building and manufacturing. That is again suggested in IoT space. Since there's not much of protection, design it, give it to somebody who can manufacture, but build your own brand, and that's how you build. Especially, we saw that problem in the home automation space.
Yes.
Too many players, too much of learning dilution, do it yourself kits and
Yeah.
it becomes a switch. So we move to industrial automation side. This is not a space that you can compete until unless you have a brand automation. They are not trying to have it and they're not trying to do brand. They build on their own. If you do only OEM, so the lab is doing such a way that the deliverables of the lab are becoming the input to Ravi's lab incubation center.
Yeah, I'm still I'm a final year of mechanical engineering. So I have another three people in my team, all of them mechanic. Uh, coding part is another person. He's doing the coding, handling the interpretation, data interpretation. Yeah. I'm the simulation guy. Like all of us mechanical. Yeah. She went to this MATLAB internship, so she knows it. So did I-
Market size. Oh, how big is the opportunity? In value terms, money.
Oh, I haven't done that. It's a second. That's why we're still developing the product and we
Or you're
wanted
doing
to.
it the wrong way. This is the reason for the open manufacturing, right?
Yes.
But 90%
Yes. Yes.
so everybody else starts with the idea is that we ask questions and then you might answer so we find the right.
Yes.
That's why
Thank you. That's what I want to done.
you have to go with your market share. Otherwise, what you're doing, ultimately after training so many times. If it is only for academic interest, yeah, absolutely fine. But if it's something that you really want to work on and make it successful, then you have to start with the market opportunity. Only then you start with. So is it a part of your final project or not?
Yeah, it's a part of my build also.
So is it academic interest or is it an entrepreneurial venture?
We're trying if this works out because we've already been contacted with our venture capital council in Gita. So through that also. Uh,
Do you've been given a coach?
yeah, we two coaches.
They are doing the market study.
Yeah, market. We still haven't sat down with them properly to do this part of it. We wanted to concentrate more on building the tech from the ground up. So
That's that I know most of the people here understand and you become very passionate about the design,
yeah,
the product and stuff. You're not concentrating much on the market, which is the number one reason why products fail. So if you're really putting tons of money and trying to get into the market, first get your market data ready before you come here. Because if you're talking, because again I said only power lifters, only weightlifting and all that stuff, that maybe the out of the market and already what is taken care by MI and all that stuff might be already big. So you must be seeing a very small market and the affordability and other stuff, reach affordability, all that taken into consideration. Go with your market then if you are getting into a venture.
yes,
You are getting into VC. So now they would ask you all
yes,
this.
yes. Yeah.
Probably you have to think a way of including the common people into your market.
So the idea originated how because we partnered up with the physiotherapist and he explained his problem because he's not unable to identify the spinal posture. The only visual inspection is used right now to see if your spine pushes right. So we listened to his problem and we were trying to see if we can create a solution to his problem. And through that, weightlifting was another alternative. So our main goal will be we give these devices out to physiotherapists who can attach it to that patient and monitor their spinal.
One quick idea. He was always things are crazy. I do all these things. Take the device external, put it to a seat that you sit, and then see if you can monitor the person's posture, which is biggest problem across the world that you're solving, posture related problems leading to back problems.
Oh,
If you can take the device out onto this thing, the seat that you're sitting, every day you sit, right? You have all these chairs. You can put the device there and completely monitor and how the postures are being, how the posture, and then give that input through your device to your chiropractic or who's the person, whoever is that right doctor, a physiotherapist or a chiropractor. So this person will give the data right through the day, and then they say, okay, is it a posture related stuff is something that you can because which is a big problem than what it is. That's a huge market.
yes, that
You
makes
can take the device out and then be able to measure those things.
yeah, like we implement memory foam so that the spine is imprinted onto the seat and then yeah, it's interesting. It's sorry,
This is
develop
fine.
it on.
Take it out from the spine and take it put it onto a seat that you sit. And if it can measure that, you have a bigger automobile manufacturer.
Yes.
Any car manufacturer.
Car,
So what is the sensor you're thinking of?
right now we're using an axle.
How many are needed?
We're using 6 axles and 2 VSP to Wi-Fi. Thank you. Thank you.
So, hi everyone, this is Hamza. It's my friend. We are trying to do aquascaping. Like, is anyone familiar with this idea of aquascaping? So, yeah, but they were not. So, aquascaping is basically arrangement of aquatic plants, craft, driftwood, like rocks, everything in an aquarium in a beautifully aesthetic manner. So, this is actually a status-driven product. We are trying to sort of transition this as a status driven product because in India, people spend 3x amount on their living room than the bedroom because they love to flaunt in the society. If there is any guest present, they obviously meet in the living room. So this is one segment, and the rest of segments is we can sell this to A category hotels. Have you guys been to Novotel? There is this in entrance there is a basic scape which like costs 10 lakhs. There is no aquascaping required, nothing required. But if there is given a chance and we have the 10 lakhs amount, we can make a very beautiful scape. So these are like basic scapes, and aquascape can be a themescape as well. If you have been very curious with certain form of theme, for example, you went on a hill station and you have seen this picture. For example, this is a dragonscape. You have seen the scenery and you wanted this at your doorstep. Like we can use all the live plants and all the live plants, driftwood, and ornamental fishes. Like fishes are not our main theme, but making plants luxury at your homestead is our main theme. Our example, we are trying to introduce live decor which has life in it. So basically, that's our idea. And in later phases, we to monitor the aquarium like tank and all, we are also trying to introduce IoT segment in it.
so that we can monitor it through our application and all. But initial stages, we just want to take off few orders, make a good portfolio, so that we can make three four different types of scapes, make a strong portfolio, then maybe market it to the other customers. So we would like to have your suggestions and inputs on that.
What help are you? Any help or your
We are working on a first four orders. Like, yeah, we need a help in IoT space.
okay, we'll talk.
Aquascaping, a lot of people who sell it through Instagram. How you compete customer acquisition? Yes, that marketing strategy we are not we haven't established a strong marketing strategy as of now. But firstly, we have like pitched to one of our secretary in our college. He got very curious and he's ready to invest in us. And he gave us first four orders. And like later on, after we get sort of like handy like with four five orders and few prototypes, then we'll definitely think of marketing plan and world big.
Order size? Yes.
Sorry. Yes, I have. Like, yeah. I mean, the story, everything we didn't include. Like, basically, I mean, yeah, like, no, these are like, these are samples. Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's my hobby.
So this is Vinay. Good evening all. So I have 6 years of experience in aquascaping and I'm very professional in this. So uh, IoT is a different thing. So main concept is in here is IoT only. So like monitoring all the fishes and all the plants, like any infections of which is there for the plants and all, and also some liquids will be arranged in that. So by the mobile application, we can capture it in any way. So this is the main concept. And our competitors are ADA, Aqua Design Amino. It's a Japan company. It is an international company. And ADA was started in India also later on. So ADA is the main competitor.
As we have time constraints, we didn't do a like proper story and like step by step thing. But we just wanted to have suggestions and input, so we have given a lot. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for another great meeting today. We would like to have your feedback to focus on the coming weeks. Firstly, we'll have a feedback from our speaker of today.
Thank you, everybody. It's been a wonderful opportunity to meet all this. I didn't know something like this was happening here, right behind where I stay. Thanks for Srinivas for giving me the opportunity. I would like to participate and see how I can be of any help here. I'm always available. So thank you very much.
Anyone can share the feedback with us.
Madam and these two people is they're new. When they all the students and all this stuff, right? And I think with two people would probably we would need your thing, which is how to take this forward, have a bigger reach.
I'm very happy to be here. Actually, taking all these concepts to children is becoming a very difficult part because, like, people who are talking about the ECMA skating or not. So here they were talking about a hobby here. They have converted their hobby into something like this. So if children are having such kind of hobbies, they can do it, sir. But it is being very difficult for us to inculcate this kind of ideas into children because I'm really sorry to tell we are only focusing on their jobs, whatever they after they complete, they're focusing only what job they have to get into. So I'm very happy that we have this kind of a floor where children could be given these ideas. So instead of we talking like this, it would be very better that we could take some of the examples from here, show it to our children, and then we can encourage them that you could take your hobbies like this, or if you have any ideas of your own, this could be done. That's what we wanted to show them as a examples, live examples, rather than getting a we are getting a mail and we are telling them that this is gonna happen here. So please children, if you are really interested, there are a lot of people who will help you and all. But that is not going to really help them, sir. Examples like this, when shown at the colleges, some representatives from here come and show all these things, address to the students with these examples. It would be better and it will give them better idea, get better focus on what on the little things what they could do that. That's what I'm getting. Thank you so much.
Okay, good evening, all of you. Once again, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. D. Srinivasan. I'm currently working in Dr. V.S. Krishna College, the Faculty of Commerce. Right. It's a wonderful opportunity for us. Normally, in our classroom, ma'am rightly pointed out, we are always talking about how to get the job, what are the competitive examinations. Okay, our focus is like that. So, being an MBA background, I'm very much interested about this kind of things actually. So, we are very fortunate. This year, we have started BBA course. So such kind of this kind of platform highly useful for the BBA and MBA backgrounds. Instead of job seekers, they will definitely become job providers. So here I have seen a lot of new things actually. So really aqua designing and Star rightly pointed out how to present the things. So really wonderful. Star idea and the rural markets. Normally we are talking about in marketing critical aspect, how to tap the rural market. So these kind of new things we learn students. Definitely we will follow the sessions. So definitely we'll identify the prospective students, those who want to become an entrepreneur. So we can see a good entrepreneurs from our side. It's a great platform for us. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Please don't forget to register yourself through this code, and you can also log into our WhatsApp group or add into our WhatsApp group through this link. So you'll get updates on every first and third Saturdays. We conduct this Startup Saturdays. Uh, yeah. In November, it's on November 4th, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, it's on November 5th. Next event is on November 5th. Yeah. Thank, thank you.